Hey everybody, Hoosier Jedi here with another review for you. This time I'm talking episode 10 of season 2 of The Legend of Korra called A New Spiritual Age. Overall, I thought this episode was alright. There's definitely some really awesome shoutouts and references to the last Avatar series, and the series does move ahead, with our main storyline. It just kind of feels like, apart from the cool wow factor of seeing all the stuff from the previous Avatar series, that there could have been a little bit more from what was going on in the present, I guess is the best way to put it. But there's still some pretty interesting stuff going on, so let's just get right into it. First of all, let's just get the big thing out of the way. It's like, Iroh. Okay, like him, his journey to the spirit world, this is stuff we've talked about before, and here it is. We get to see Iroh one more time. It's not a trick. It's not an illusion. It's for real him. And, I kind of feel bad for not seeing it coming. But when he showed up, I was just like, yes, this is going to be absolutely awesome. I mean, the only really downside to his appearance in this episode is that we don't have the original voice actor for him, Mako, anymore. Now, of course, that can't be helped as he unfortunately passed away a few years ago. But they did bring back the gentleman who replaced him. His name escapes me at the moment. And he certainly does he continues to do a very serviceable job. And, you can't really hold him not being Mako against the guy. And it was really just wonderful to see Iroh back as a character, him doling out that wonderful sort of wisdom, his gentle nature, his love of tea, and his words of wisdom being passed on to the worthy younger person. Instead of Zuko this time, of course, it's Korra. And what I really like that he says is, about Sister Korra is that he has that really nice thing of like sometimes the way to help yourself is to help other people. But what he really gives, his big thing is that he says to her that the world around us is really is determined by the way we look at it. If you look at the world in a positive way, then you'll see the world in a positive way. If you look at the world in a negative way, then everything around you will see negative and bad. And he is 100% right on this. And this is something that has been said across many cultures, many religions, many times. And it is all backed up even by modern psychology and science. If you look at the world in a positive way, you will be a healthier and happier person. This is real science behind all of this. And if you do look at the world in a negative way, then you project that negativity and you draw negativity into yourself. I mean, not to really get too out here, but there was a time in my life not that many years ago when I was a very negative person. And I was not happy. I tended to look at everything around me in the worst possible light. I saw everything as being bad, as everything in some way working against me. And, well, long story short, circumstances in my life changed. And, I still have my down days, but now I realize that life is, well, it basically kind of goes according as Abraham Lincoln once said. Most people are as happy as they make up their mind to be. And that's true. When I started realizing that I'm going to try and look at the positive side of things, then the world around me and the world inside myself became brighter and more positive places. And Korra, demonstrates what that can do to us in the show, and it's really beautifully realized. I like that so much. Now, of course, we also get to see another appearance by Wang Shitong, and of course, he's still a big jerk. Now, granted, he does have some pretty good reasons to be angry at humans, and his appearance did definitely give Jinora a chance to really kind of come along and shine here. And also, his reference to the last human that was here, well, I definitely enjoyed seeing the more sinister side of Wang Shitong. I really did get a kick out of that. But anyway, it's still a little unclear as to exactly, in my mind, why he's helping Unalaq. but I have a feeling we'll get more information on that as time goes by. I think they kind of dodged that question this episode, but it's not the season finale just yet, so I can forgive them for that. Anyway, one thing that I also like this episode is that we see Korra initially, basically from the very get-go, almost as a baby. Well, not exactly a baby, toddler Korra. And I really do like the subtle symbolism of this, because Korra is in a completely new place. She is dealing with something that is really just so beyond her that she has only the most basic idea of what it's like. And that's actually pretty similar to what it's like to be a toddler. You have your body, you can move around and interact with your world, but you don't exactly have grace, you don't have strength. You're still learning just how to do so much as walk. You don't understand the world around you very well. Everything around you is, unless it's in the most simple terms possible, simply beyond your comprehension. But by the time this episode is over, when Korra has learned the power of viewing things positively, it is that opens the door to her being able to spiritually grow up. She's taken a real step this episode, and that's what allows her to try and put up a fight against Unalaq. Now, it doesn't really go her way, but still, it's a step. And of course, Jinora being Unalaq's prisoner in the spirit world, that opens up some really traumatic stuff for her and for Tenzin. And I also liked how the spirit bird, a dragon bird or whatever they called it, when it came to Korra's rescue, it had transformed into what looks to me like a phoenix. Now, this is an Asian phoenix, which is really much more bird-like. In Western depictions, we particularly just tend to see not just kind of a golden bird, but a bird that's genuinely made out of fire. Like Phoenix from the X-Men comics is what people generally tend to go for, at least in my experience. But, of course, phoenixes are symbols of rebirth. And, in rescuing Korra, it's made it possible for her to not exactly be reborn, but, the heroes are still in the game. And another thing to keep in mind, of course, is that phoenixes, in some interpretations, are also considered symbols of destruction. I mean, that's what phoenixes are all about. They die, are destroyed, and are reborn. And that's fitting, seeing as how the title is A New Spiritual Age. Implicit in the title is the end, destruction of one spiritual age, and the birth of another. I mean, this is what Unalaq's trying to bring about. But, of course, Vaatu just wants to destroy the world. So why is Unalaq going along with this? Well, that's also a mystery that we kind of need to have answered. And one other thing that I noticed that I really like is when Korra sees the teapot that Wan had carried the good spirit in, she immediately says, "My teapot." She doesn't say Avatar Wan's teapot. She says, "My teapot." So, showing there that for all her problems with the spiritual side, Korra is perhaps more connected to her previous incarnations as the Avatar than maybe even she realizes. It is that need to awaken, to tap into the other avatars, that is probably going to be critical to her coming out on top this season. So, I take that as a good sign. Anyway, just kind of glancing at my notes here, that covers everything that I really had to say about this episode. Overall, pretty darn good one. Anyway, guys, that's all I have for you this time around. As always, please comment, rate, and subscribe, and of course you can follow me on Twitter at Who's Your Jedi. Till next time, take care and have a good one.